I would like to make a couple of comments. These gentlemen on here, they don't even try to hide things. We can have a difference in opinion, but you definitely can't change facts. I know from 2004 to 2008, you had 164,000 businesses that either closed down or moved offshore. So, what did that do to the industry? And then he keeps sitting there saying, and only about, 42,000 of those businesses have come back to the United States. But I'd like to talk about, the election that's coming up now. Now, this governor that we have in here now and before the Ohio legislature, that's a right-to-work bill. And I would like for them to explain to the listening public and to the people that work every day, we the people, that 97% that they left out of that tax bill, how is that right to work going to benefit us working people? And to top it off, 2 years ago, the governor signed into law where home health, they could not form their own union. Now, who does that benefit?
All right, so we're going to let...
One more thing I would like to talk about.
Go ahead.
We're talking about police brutality. And this Attorney General has a lot to do with that arbitration clause that's in that union. It has a lot to do with it. And then he wants a promotion. He wants to leave from Attorney General, and he wants a job as a governor now. A right-to-work state.
All right, we're gonna let them answer your phone calls. Listen, if you're calling, turn your radio down so we don't get that echo. Thank you for your phone call, John. You'll listen off the air. Go ahead, brother. It's on y'all.
I'd like to start with that one because I'm well aware of the legislation, the proposal that your caller was referencing. This is some right-to-work legislation that would possibly go on the ballot for a constitutional amendment. Representative Becker has proposed it, and I think you assume too much when you think the Republican Party is of one mind on unions or right-to-work legislation. I absolutely oppose what some people call right-to-work. I think it's just union-busting legislation. And I'm endorsed by the Cleveland building trades. I'm endorsed by the sheet metal workers, the plumbers, the cement masons. And I've always been very supportive of unions because I think that's how you create good-paying jobs, how you have job training that moves Ohio forward. So some Republicans do support it. I'm not one of them. I think that right to work, I think that union-busting legislation is wrong for Ohio, and I think you're right to be concerned about it.
And unions are getting more and more supportive of Republican initiatives because of that, because the Republican Party has been very strong, as you saw what President Trump's talking about, trying to get rid of NAFTA and redo NAFTA. I mean, and NAFTA was, as he says, and he said this the other day, that was negotiating a trade deal with our friends meaning Mexico and Canada. He wants to redo that, and so he started with the tariff thing. That's something the unions support. The unions support getting rid of the health care, the Affordable Care Act, because as far as they're concerned, it's not an Affordable Care Act. That's hurting the unions big time and the workers big time. And then immigration. I don't think there's any group more for building that wall than the union folks. I mean, of course, they were talking about that again at the union hall that I was at the other day. And so, these are not, as John said, this is the true Republican Party. The Republican Party is about jobs, 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 and how do we create them? How do we educate the workforce so the workforce is prepared, so the people coming out of high schools and coming out of colleges are prepared for the work, and match the work with what the economy needs and what businesses need, making sure that they're in sync with each other.
All right, Brother Alex. Before you go, Professor, go ahead, Brother Alex.
As you all know, I like to hang out in Michigan a lot. A few years ago, Michigan enacted right to work. And, it is a heavily unionized state with very high wages. And one of the things that right to work is it's not anti-union, it's not pro-union either, it's neutral, okay? And so that the unions have the right to organize and the people have the right not to join the union. So there's no forcing. But one of the aspects of right to work is international investment. As we become a world economy and we're getting these companies either coming back or foreign companies investing here, if your state is not right to work, you're pretty much disqualified from any major investment. The unions still have the right to organize those plans. but it's the perception that international business has of an economic area. And the economic area in Ohio is pretty bad.
Well, you know, I give y'all credit. We got a professor in the house, and we got two great businessmen in the house. You all have started some trouble because all my phone lines are lit up. I can't get out of this.